Hello, little rabbits. Welcome to the first edition of the Rabbit Hole Roulette. I am Matty P, one of your hosts. Joining me is Tony O. And today we are going to delve into whatever random topic we end up with on today's wheel spin. But before we get started, Tony, would you like to do a little introduction of yourself before we jump into some current events?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Tony O. I like to think of myself as the facilitator of fancy. All things storytelling is pretty much my niche, from true stories to somewhat true stories. The goal for me on this podcast is to kind of get in line with you and tell some stories that are out there that are absolutely true that probably would make you go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And then hopefully you fact check it and you kind of spin down your own rabbit hole and kind of go from there. So that's who I am in a nutshell, boss.
Nice. And as I stated, I am Matty P. I am the architect of Actually. My job here is to try to stick to the facts as close as possible, try to make sure the stories remain true, no matter how crazy they may sound. And we are going to get this underway. Tony, do you have any current events you would like to discuss first?
Hey, this is kind of morbid, but did you hear about the plane full of skydivers that crashed and they all died? Huh?
I did hear about that. That is a wild headline to say the least. My first thought, as morbid as this may sound, is why didn't they jump?
That's a good question.
I guess the first question should be, were they on a plane for skydiving? Is that what they were doing at the time? I would imagine that's the case based off the headline.
And I don't know the facts on this yet. I've not fully delved into this, and maybe some of the rabbits can kind of div in and give us some comments on what they think happened, or more of the news. Again, I have not looked at that yet.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm curious to see as more comes out about that story, what exactly was going on. Um, ooh, my turn. Did you hear about the 3-year-old that was tossed into an alligator enclosure or crocodile enclosure, I guess?
For what purpose?
Apparently, they were at a zoo, and a mentally disabled individual, adult, uh, for whatever reason, thought that would be a good idea.
Just yeeted a baby down the
Just
the rabbit hole there,
yeah,
huh?
just send him in there.
How'd that turn out?
The kid is alive. Yes, YouTube, the kid is alive. Before you try to flag this video, he was in critical condition, but he is still alive. Last I heard, and the mentally disabled individual has been arrested currently. I believe it is going to be potential attempted manslaughter, attempted homicide. I'm not sure exactly which one they're going to go with there, but yeah, that was a crazy story as well to read on my news feed a couple days ago.
So I'm gonna read the future here, and I want to circle back to this in about 32 years. I'm gonna go out and say that the signs are telling me that this 3-year-old is gonna be an alligator wrangler down in Florida in the Panhandles. That's what I'm getting
Oh,
right now, Matty
I
P.
hope with everything in my being this kid grows up to be the next Steve Irwin, 100%.
Okay,
Because
that's a good one.
that is a an epic origin story for him. He's either going to grow up to be the next Steve Irwin or the next Craven the Hunter. Got to be one of the two.
That's how the origin stories start for comics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Definitely Craven the
Yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
potential there for sure.
that's pretty good. You ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, you want me to
Let's
let me get the
let's
first
spin to win and
wheel.
see who goes. Let's see what the rabbits get for storytellers today.
Uh, okay, you should be able to see that.
I do.
Okay, ready?
Let's do it. I'm about as excited as I was for 5-year-old
Oh, it's me.
Christmas presents.
Oh, it's me. Episode
Ooh,
1 is me. I'm not gonna lie, I was
this is
kind of
good.
hoping it was gonna be you.
Oh, of course.
All right. All right, so for today's potential topics,
Whoa,
we
the
have
fourth wheel looks good.
zombie Wi-Fi, worst day in Texas, the most interesting man in the world, and multi-level marketing religion.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not want multi-level marketing religion at all right now.
I
I
th-
kind of hope it starts on Most Interesting Man or the zombie Wi-Fi.
yeah, I think any of these topics are going to be a lot of fun. Do you have any idea what any of these clues might actually be before I spin it and tell you
No,
what it is?
I do not.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess on the most interesting man in the world? What that might be?
I immediately go to the beer commercial with the guy.
Yeah, the Dos Equis commercial.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, I immediately go to that,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know the others. Worst Day in Texas. I mean, to me, that goes back to the Waco. Maybe I don't know
Mm.
that one. Zombie Wi-Fi, no clue. Multi-level marketing religion. Um, oh God, there's tons of those that are out there. So it could be any number one of those, which is why I don't want that.
Awesome. All right, let's see what it is and see if you're right on any of your guesses. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh,
Oof. Okay.
oh man, the most interesting man in the world. All right, final guess on who you think it could be?
I'm telling. I think it's the Dos Equis guy. Again, I'm saying it landed on that in 32 years. The kid's going to be an alligator wrangler. I think this is the Dos Equis guy.
All right, I've stopped sharing because I didn't want you to see it when I pulled it up. All right,
Ooh. Okay.
the most interesting man in the world, and I find it funny that you did not get this because you and I have actually talked a little bit about this guy before together. The most interesting man in the world to me is one Mr. Steven Seagal.
Oh, geez.
We are
Okay.
going down the Steven Seagal rabbit hole and everything that this man is, was, and potentially will be for the remainder of his life. So, quick background for everybody that may or may not know if you're under the age of 35. Steven Seagal is an American actor, also a black belt martial artist. He was born April 10th, 1952. He's also a producer and screenwriter. He does make his own movies for better or worse.
Oh, he's 74 years old.
He is getting up there. Yeah.
Okay.
He is a black belt in Aikido, which
Yep.
people have their mixed feelings about that. It looks like when you watch somebody do it, like in a dojo setting, it looks very much like performative dance more so than martial arts. It's not really a hard hitting martial arts like what somebody would expect to see in like MMA. It's more of a using your opponent's momentum against them kind of deal.
Yeah, it's more defensive, right?
It's supposed to be, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, it when he does it, especially, it looks a little rough. So 1988, Steven Seagal made his acting debut in the movie Above the Law, which is regarded as the first American film to feature Aikido in fight sequences. So, fun fact about the,
Did
especially
not
with
know
like
that.
what the 80s and 90s, you had a big spike in the action movie craze, right? So you had like your Arnold Schwarzeneggers, your or your Jean Claude Van Damme's,
Stallone's.
Stallone, yep,
Yeah. Chuck
uh,
Norris even in the
Chuck
80s.
Norris, yep, he did a
Charles
lot.
Bronson. Let me take it back there for you.
Yeah, yeah. So then you get in all of this, Steven Seagal gets discovered, right? But before we get into, let me backpedal here a little bit. Before Seagal became the martial artist, before he became the actor, right, that we all know today, um, this gets deeper into the rabbit hole. Steven Seagal, he was supposed to be drafted for, I believe it was the Vietnam War, if I remember right. Let me scroll down here a little bit and make sure I'm not getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
So military background, should have had military background.
Should have had military background, but when it came time for him to get drafted, he went to Japan for his first wife. First, let's keep track here. Miyako Fujitani. They met in
She sounds
California.
lovely.
They met in California in the fall of 1974, and he followed her back to Japan in October and got married in December of 1974. So met in the fall of 74, married in December of 74.
I'm not saying the guy dodged the draft. I'm just saying marriage is a thing, and he was in love.
Yes. Yeah. But it actually says right here on his Wikipedia page that when Seagal was 17 and 5 years before Seagal moved to Japan at 22, he moved there at 22 to avoid the draft for the Vietnam War by marrying a Japanese national. So
It's true love. Wikipedia. I gotta
it's
edit that.
it's true love. Yeah, you got to put that in there. You
It's
gotta
true
throw
love.
the heart emoji, like the Facebook one, the hugging the heart. You got to throw that in there. It was
We've all been 22 before in
100%
love.
true love. He also attended Fullerton College from 1970 to 71, so did not graduate. And he has been described as a pathological liar.
I have also been called the same.
Yeah, but you tell stories. This guy lies about his history.
Fair enough.
Due to his propensity of making greatly exaggerated or outright fabricated statements about his personal life and achievements. For instance, he has stated that he was a student of the founder of Aikido.
I have
I'm
heard that.
not even going to try to pronounce that guy's name, despite the fact that that guy died in 1969, and he did not move to Japan until, what did I say, 74.
Yep.
So, guy was already dead for
I did
5
hear that.
years.
I'm on a tangent here. So I knew a little bit about that specifically when I was trying to research Bloodsport and Jean-Claude Van Damme
Good
and
movie.
the Kumite
Mm-hmm.
and how that Frank Dukes has been, talked about being kind of grandiose.
Also
And
discredited,
some,
Mm-hmm.
yes, and some of that kind of leadwayed into Steven Seagal's life a little bit. So I did know some of that. Okay.
Yep. It seems to be a little bit of a pattern from that era of some of these action stars or stories about. And I will have to wonder back then, when you see guys like Schwarzenegger on the big screen or Stallone on the big screen, in the movies that they've done with, like Commando or Rocky, something like that, that some of these guys kind of twist their own history in their head, some of the things they've been through, like, oh yeah, well that's nothing compared to what I've been. You know what I mean? If there was a little bit
Oh yeah,
if that kind of,
it compounds.
yeah, if that played a part in it. So yeah. Off on a tangent. Let's get back to one Mr. Seagal here. And funny story, and I heard this in one of the documentaries about Seagal I watched. That this guy was interviewed in 1993, and this is the father of his first wife. That said the only reason Steven was awarded the black belt was because the judge, who was famous for his laziness, fell asleep during Steven's presentation. The judge just gave him the black belt.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that and you have
I'll be
to
honest with you.
go ahead.
I'm just saying, a black belt's still a black belt, no matter how he got it, right?
Black belt is still a black belt, whether you earned it in martial arts training or bought it off the shelf at Walmart. It is still a black belt.
But he was awarded it.
He was. It's fair, but if the judge was asleep during his whole presentation, did he really earn it?
So he's saying Aikito's boring.
It would appear. I mean,
That's
I don't
sad.
know how much you've seen of it, but it's pretty rough.
Okay.
Steven Seagal has also claimed that he has helped train CIA agents in Japan, claiming that they saw my abilities both with martial arts and with the language. And you could say that I became an advisor to several CIA agents in the field, and through my friends in the CIA, I met many powerful people and did special works and favors. So this I almost feel like could be slightly true, given some of the things that you've seen Seagal do recently with other leaders of different countries of the world.
That's fair.
So he has managed to get some connections, whether this part's true or not. You can't argue that the man has not had an incredible life with in a wild life, I guess I should say, and met some of the top, some pretty high up world leaders, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You got to give a little credit there. As crazy as his stories may be, and as wild as his claims about his Aikido skills. Maybe he has met some world leaders. So whether or not he actually worked with anybody in the CIA, I don't know. But he is, and then it says right here, there is no evidence that Seagal has ever worked with the CIA.
Of course, there would be no evidence, right? They don't want you to have evidence.
I mean, would the CIA let you know that they are taking advice from? Well, he wasn't even an actor at this
Absolutely
point.
not.
He was just a random
Absolutely not.
uh, Aikido student. In the early 1980s, Seagal had aspirations to return to America and become a movie star. Fujitani, his first wife, correct, then scrimped
Hmm.
and saved for years, even denying herself and her children necessities to help pay his way home. According to
So she
Fuji,
didn't have toilet paper.
no, it doesn't sound like it. According to
Ah, man.
Fujitani, he then availed himself of her savings and eyed off. So, okay,
He
so
just left her, took her money, and
he
left.
took the money and left after using her to dodge the draft. Is what happened.
He had a plan. He stuck to it.
So,
Yeah,
so
I like
he
that.
meets her, flies to Japan, gets married within 2-3 months, based on the timeline here.
Gets a
Then
black belt.
gets a black belt from her father's dojo from a judge that falls asleep during his presentation, makes her and her kids go without to save up for a plane ticket for him to fly back to the States to now become a movie star. And she's thinking, if he becomes a movie star, we're set. We're all moving to California. We're going to
She gonna buy
have a
all the toilet paper
lavish
she
life.
wants.
He took the money and run.
Oh, that poor girl.
Ah. And this,
They're lucky they didn't send like assassins after him. I'm just
so,
saying. At the time, that was probably a thing, wasn't it?
and some ninjas after him.
I didn't say ninjas. I'm just saying assassins. It could have been hired hitman. It could have been anybody. But with his Aikido and the CIA connections, obviously that's why
They
he's
got to be
still alive
careful.
now.
Yeah, that's it. It's
Yeah.
that's what's kept him alive the whole time.
Holy cow! I'm getting on. I'm moving in my seat. I'm so nervous talking about him. He's going to come around and show up in my corner somewhere.
He's just gonna pop in, eat your Doritos, and then throw you around on the floor.
I'm going to take all my shit and run. Okay.
Brother, this guy. And what sucks about this is I grew up, my dad was big into the action movies growing up, so I've seen all of Schwarzenegger's movies, I've seen all of
Yep.
Stallone's movies, and one of my dad's favorite back, when I was growing up in the 90s was Under Siege, which I assume we'll
Yep.
probably talk
Yep.
about at
Yep.
some point. That was, I mean, to me back then, I thought Seagal's a badass. I thought this guy's awesome. And then, you start reading more about him and it changes your opinion pretty quick. He also, fun fact, had a bad habit of bad mouthing other action stars in Hollywood. He claimed that they were all fake tough guys, including Jean Claude Van Damme,
I've
including
seen his interviews.
Micah J. White, who he's actually hired 2 or 3 times for movies. He has turned around and claimed that he is a fake tough guy and that he could knock him out in seconds. Um, I don't believe either one of those things to be true. I'm pretty sure. And Van Damme even offered to fight him, and Seagal wouldn't do it.
So I would like to see. So coming from a mental health background, I'd like to see his personality assessments.
Oh,
So obviously the
absolutely.
guy's very. It sounds very narcissistic. He's got
100%.
a lot of grandiose thoughts and
Mhm.
ideas, not just of himself, but even thinking the exact opposite of others, because he is so far above them. So that comes with like a personality that he. Where did that come from? Is that just him? His ways. And so there's a lot of background into him. I want to know his upbringing and like where did that come from and where did he start making this change? Has he always been a that kind of a guy? So yeah, okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense that he
Mhm.
thinks terrible of everybody else.
So here is where I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit in the timeline, and this is one of the things that gave Seagal the credit that he had for a while, of being a tough guy and being a actual good martial artist. Um, Later in his career, Steven Seagal helped train Brazilian mixed martial artist Lyoto Makita, who credited Seagal for helping him perfect the front kick that he used to knock out Randy Couture at UFC 129.
That guy was a beast. I'm just gonna say, not Randy Couture as well,
Yeah, oh,
but
absolutely.
Makita, he's still gonna go out there and whoop somebody's tail in an alley if you cross him.
You're,
That guy was true bad. He was bad.
yeah, but he credited Seagal. Seagal didn't claim I helped him. He credited Seagal after the fight, claiming that he helped him perfect his front kick that he used to knock out Couture.
So
So
there's some legitimacy to his claims.
so there is some legitimacy to Seagal, and I'm not saying Seagal, doesn't never trained in martial arts. Clearly, he did, Aikido or whatever. Obviously, he spent the time because you don't just walk into a dojo and say, "Hey, I want to test for a black belt." You do have to
I
go through
mean,
the
maybe
ranks.
Seagal might
I
have.
mean,
I'm just saying.
maybe.
We don't know
But you
that.
got to keep in mind too. This is the 80s, right, or 70s at this point. And Seagal's walking around Japan at 6'4". So he's,
Oh, you're making a high joke here, huh?
well,
Do
not
it.
really trying to, but he's going to look like a monster over there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I've been there. That's correct. I was average size over there, guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying the average height in Japan is probably what,
6, 5, 5,
5'6"?
5, 6,
Yeah,
5,
five
7.
five.
Yeah,
And he's walking around at
they're not
six
a big
four.
culture.
So if he walks into a dojo and says, "I want to test for a black belt," they might let him.
Those dudes would probably still whoop him.
Oh, 100%. Oh,
But and I get it. The physical presence is very intimidating, or can be.
all right. Now
Cheetah. Okay.
moving back into the Hollywood side here, real quick. We're gonna breeze through the Hollywood a little bit because I think what he's done since acting is more wild. He's kind of lived a Dennis Rodman esque lifestyle. Like, how Dennis Rodman has spent a lot of time
That's a
with
rabbit
the
hole in
oh,
itself, right there.
100% with the North Korean dictator. Was it Kim Jong Un?
Mm.
Uh, Seagal has kind of done the same thing, but we'll get to it. I don't want to jump ahead too far. So Seagal returned after scamming his first wife. Returned to Taos,
He
New
took her toilet
Mexico.
paper, dude.
He sure did. Uh, returned to Taos, New Mexico with his student and later film stuntman Craig Dunn, where they opened a dojo. Although Seagal spent much of his time pursuing other ventures, after another period in Japan, so he ended up going back to Japan. Interesting. He returned to the
So he made
United,
money.
apparently running his dojo. But
Now this is also I don't think this guy was dirt poor and probably couldn't afford a plane ticket for a couple $100 at that time.
I would say once he got back to the States, it was easier for him to get some money to then go back to Japan. Easier than it was to make money in
Yeah.
Japan and come to the
Yeah, I would
States.
say so.
Because keep in mind, in the 80s too, he goes to Japan and becomes a martial artist. That's more common there than what it was here in the 80s.
Correct.
Because
He's
UFC
not gonna make
wasn't as
money on that
big.
over there.
But he comes
Yeah,
over
he's gonna make
here
money
and
here.
says, "I trained in Japan and I opened a dojo." Because this is the same time as like Karate Kid,
Yep.
Three Ninjas, Beverly
Selling
Hills
points.
Ninja. All those are
Yep.
coming out. So everybody wanted to learn martial arts back then, right?
Sidekicks.
Oh my God, this guy. My blood pressure's going up. Where was I? This is all your fault.
He goes back. He
Returned
comes
to the United States
to
in
Japan.
'83 with senior student
Yep.
Haru Matsuoka. They then opened
Okay.
a Aikido dojo initially in North Hollywood, but later moved it to West Hollywood. Seagal then left his student in charge of
Okay.
the dojo, which the latter ran until the two parted ways in 1997. Okay.
Well,
In
that
the
right there
early,
is Under Siege, isn't it? That's when that came out. Or is that?
maybe. It says in the 1980s, Seagal had his first experience in the film industry by working as a fight coordinator on The Challenge in 1982, which was shot in Japan, and Never Say Never Again, which was in 1983. I have not
I don't
seen
know those
either
either.
one of those.
Okay.
So from what I heard, and I don't know that this will be here in this wiki page, but what I heard was that an agent literally saw him on the street, saw his size, his frame, because everybody makes fun of him now for being fat and out of shape. That's fine. But back in the day,
He
he
was
was
physically
not out of
impressive back in
shape.
the day.
He was
Yeah, no, he was physically
6'4", he
impressive.
was lean, he was
Yep.
pretty ripped.
He had a mean ponytail.
He did have a mean ponytail, which
I'm just saying.
put him, the only ponytail they could compare would have been Van Damme's at one point. He also had a ponytail for a minute. but I
It's
do
true.
think Seagal's overall was better. But anyways, that guy saw him and was impressed by his frame and his charisma when he was talking to him, and was like, "You need to be in acting," and that's what lit the acting bug for him, from what I understand.
And then it takes it to his first one, right? Above the Law.
Yes,
Mainstream. First
begin. Yep,
mainstream, I
his
guess I should
first
say.
film above the law. With director Andrew Davis, Seagal was asked to make the film by agent Michael Ovitz, who reportedly became convinced that Seagal had movie star potential after taking Aikido classes with him. That's what I was talking about. So he had
Okay.
an agent show up at his dojo that he was running with his buddy, his student that he brought back from Japan. Saw him, was like, "You need to be an actor." Got him into acting, and then Seagal dips out of the dojo business and goes to be an actor.
So I'm gonna do my best Seagal moment right here
Mm,
and say that he put on such a front during his dojo and his training that this guy was like, "You're gonna be an actor." I'm just saying, as podcasters, this is probably the best podcast that's going to be out there. Again, I can see this in the future. I know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen.
100%.
So if we can get Seagal before he passes away, if we can get Kim Jong Un come on the show at some point to talk us through his relationship with both Rodman and maybe Seagal, I don't know, brother. I'm all for it because we are one of the better podcasts that's going to be out there in the future to come. I'm just saying, mark my word.
Brother, if we could
I'm
get an
done.
episode with Dennis Rodman and Steven Seagal at the same time, I don't think we would get a word in. I don't think we would want to. I think we would just let them. I would mute our mics and just let them talk, and just jump in occasionally, because there are so many stories between those two individuals, some true, some not, that would be a
So
wild setup.
do they have a connection to? I know. So Seagal was married to Kelly LeBrock. Was Rodman? Did he have something to do with Kelly LeBrock in the day as well? Do they have a double connection there, or maybe a single connection?
Oh, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't
So
know.
okay, interesting. Okay, and I only say that because Kelly LeBrock was like my I don't know, I was 10, 12. That was my fantasy right there. That gal had it all. You know, as a young preteen
Yeah,
looking at the finer things in life at the time.
sure, sure.
Anyway,
Yep.
shout out to Kelly LeBrock. Please come on the show, girl.
Shout out. Come on the show, please. Jesus. All right, let's see. Where was I? Offered a contract by Warner Brothers after the screen test, where he did Above the Law, which I know a lot of people still say is probably the best movie he ever did. I
Oh,
don't,
rubbish.
yeah, I don't know about that. I think Under Siege is probably the best one he did.
Fire down below, man.
That was a good one. Wasn't there another one like Belly of the Beast, something like that
Belly
he
of the Beast
did?
was another
Yeah,
good
that was a
one.
good one. I don't know.
Was he in one in the 90s with 50 Cent? Was he in
Uh,
something In Too Deep, or was he in some? He was in
no,
some like
Exit Wounds, right? Wasn't he in Exit
that's what
Wounds?
Exit Wounds. It was Exit
It was
Wounds with
DMX.
DMX. That's correct. He was
Hmm.
in Exit Wounds. That's what it was.
Actually, there it is. First one of the episode, I think. DMX and Steven Seagal, after that movie, actually had a huge falling out. They
Of course,
didn't talk for years until I think they did a sequel to the movie they were in together. Or they did another movie
interesting.
together later on down the road, but this was after kind of DMX's career kind of taking a tumble. And that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down that I would love to explore at some point, is the rise
It's
and fall of
DMX.
DMX, because huge
Yeah.
DMX fan for one. Two, his life story is wild from beginning to end. Oh, God. All right. So Above the Law was a success, grossed 18.8 million, almost $19 million. They claim that it contained, or according to where is it, Roger Ebert, it contains 50% more plot than is needed, but that allows it room to grow in areas not ordinarily covered by action thrillers. Okay, well, whatever. Following its success, he went on to do Hard to Kill, Marked for Death. Marked for Death was okay.
Hard to kill.
Out for Justice, all our box office hits, and made Seagal an action hero. Janet Maslon of the New York Times wrote, Mr. Seagal is effective for both his novelty, value, and his ability to be both literal and figuratively disarming. Interesting.
Oh, that's an interesting comment.
Yeah. Then he went on to do Under Siege.
Yep.
which was the one that got him. Which is the one that I saw first, I guess I should say. Um,
Shout out to Gary Busey in that one, man.
Gary Busey carried that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Forget Tommy
I mean,
Lee
Tommy Lee Jones was
Jones.
good as well. Don't get me
Forget
wrong.
Steven
Tommy Lee Jones was
Seagal.
good.
Gary Busey carried that movie.
Yeah. Can we get a Mr. Busey on this show to talk about that?
Brother.
I love that guy. That guy's a rabbit hole in himself.
I would love to hear some Busey stories for sure. Oh my god.
All right, so Under Siege.
So he's doing well, right? He's got a lot of hits going on right now at the box office. People are actually liking him. Okay, I wouldn't say he's as desirable for a movie as say your Schwarzeneggers or Stallones, but he is getting up there. He's getting close to like Van Damme territory, right? Like people are digging on him. Then he goes on to host Saturday Night Live in April of 1991.
I feel like that bombed. Is that correct?
It was they called it the worst episode of Saturday Night Live in the history of the show. And Saturday Night Live has had some bad episodes, but they have also said he was the worst host ever of Saturday Night
And they're
Live.
50 plus years right now,
And
so
they have locked away that episode. They will not rerun it. You will never see a rerun of Seagal on Saturday Night Live. It was that bad. I have seen clips of it from the different shows and YouTube stories I've seen on Seagal. He was awful. He was super awkward. And he had Chris Farley in there with him. And God bless Farley, rest in peace. He tried so hard to make Seagal funny and to carry the episode or the skit they were doing. They even sent in David Spade to try to help because, Farley and Spade were always doing shit together. And it still was terrible. I felt uncomfortable for Chris Farley in that episode. He tried so hard, and Seagal was just. I mean, you could have watched paint dry and been more entertained than watching Seagal try to host that show.
So what we're learning specifically is he can act through it. He can perform through a written script. He cannot
Sometimes.
improv. Okay, yes, but he can't do it on the spot.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to banter and ad lib and whatever, and that's where maybe he struggled. It's Saturday Night Live's fault. It's not Seagal's fault.
So to tell you how bad he was, Julia Sweeney, an SNL cast member that was there at the time.
That's Pat, famous for Pat. Right?
Later recalled that Seagal pitched an idea that he wanted to play a therapist and wanted Victoria Jackson to be his patient who had just been raped. And the therapist, him, would then say, "You're going to have to come to me twice a week for like 3 years," because he said that's how therapists freaking are. They're just trying to get your money. And then he says that the psychiatrist tries to then have sex with her. They shut it down. They shut that down. That wasn't
imagine
happening.
so.
Yeah, that's. He also went on a tyrant at the end of his episode where he did this skit where he broke into like a big corporate boardroom meeting and trashed the place, and then went on a monologue about how we're polluting the oceans and you need to keep trash out of the oceans and the forest and take care. And I get what he's going for. And, in the way things are today, people would probably have rallied behind him on that. But back then, everybody was like, why are you talking political on Saturday Night Live? Obviously, that landscape has changed. But back then, it caught people off guard that were just expecting, Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and David Spade and slapstick comedy, right?
So I'm going to go on a limb and say, do you know what actually carried that episode of Saturday Night Live?
That episode?
The band. The live, musical artist they had guests for that episode. That's who carried that episode.
Who was the musical guest for that episode?
I don't know, but that's what we need to talk about. That right there is what we need to talk about. I'm going to figure that out. I don't know. I'm going to find that out. Rabbits, if you figure that out, comment and let us know.
Yeah, I would like to know who was the musical guest on that episode.
Yeah, that's a good one. So where does he go from Saturday Night Live? What happens from there?
Career fluctuation. So Saturday Night Live was in 1992. So now we're getting into 94, 2002. Steven Seagal directed and starred in On Deadly Ground,
Okay. Explains that movie.
featuring Michael Caine, Arlie Ermy, rest in peace, and Billy Bob Thornton. I did not know that. I don't think I've seen
You know,
that
people
movie.
sleep on Michael Caine. That dude's good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. He's one of those
Yeah.
that's in a lot of movies, but nobody can ever remember his name. They're like, oh, yeah, that guy. He's a great actor, but nobody can ever remember his name.
His Batman movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He played Alfred in the Christian Bale
Yep.
movies. Yep. Billy Bob. You got to give Billy Bob credit. And of course,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Arlie Ermey's a legend when it comes to military movies.
That's a rabbit hole in itself, right? He didn't set up to be an actor for Full Metal Jacket. He was a on set military liaison or consultant, I think, and they're like,
Yep.
"We want you, brother. You know,
Yeah, he
give
was
us what you
supposed to be
got."
training the guy that was doing the
Yeah,
scene,
yep,
right? And then they were like, you know what,
yep.
you're too good to
Ermy
not.
turned it on,
Yep.
man.
And he's
Okay.
been in all kinds of stuff as well. On Deadly Ground was poorly received by critics.
Yeah.
Shocker, especially denouncing Seagal's long environmental speech in the film. Regardless, because Seagal considers it one of the most important and relevant moments in his career. Yeah, I bet you do. Then he tried to do Under Siege 2 to cash in on Under Siege's success.
That also was it bombed, right?
Yeah, Under Siege 2 Dark Territory. It completely was terrible.
Casey Ryback was his name in that movie, by the way. Casey Ryback.
Interesting.
He was a SEAL turned culinary specialist, which is your cooks on the ship, CSs.
Hmm. Yes, he was a cook, which I thought was weird
Yep.
that he was the cook that then turned out to be like the most badass soldier on the boat, or seaman, I guess I
Ship.
should say. Ship, sorry.
Yeah, sailor. Sailor's the
Sailor.
proper term, I think.
Sailor. Yes, he was the
Yeah,
most.
yeah.
He was
I
the
took
most
offense to that,
badass
my guy.
seaman on the ship.
He was the biggest seaman. Got it. He was the saltiest seaman on that ship, brother. That's what you're telling me. Coming from a guy who did that prior, I'm just telling you.
Yep.
Yeah. So his background was he was former SEAL team to some degree or whatever it was, and then got busted down, or maybe his rate was a culinary specialist.
Yeah.
As he went into the SEALs, which is also a weird rate to have as a SEAL designator.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, got stuck on the ship as a cook.
All right. So basically, after this point, he just keeps making movies that don't do well until you get to Exit Wounds. I'll give Exit Wounds a pass. All that starts going downhill. Now he moves into his direct-to-video phase, which is what most people make fun of him for now. And he's basically just doing just horrible snap cut style movies where he uses a stunt double for 99.9% of the movies. Even walking scenes, he'll use a stunt double for. Like, you very rarely see him unless it needs to be like a close up on him while he's talking. And God love the guy, you can't understand a word he says anymore. It's bad. It is bad. He starts talking and he's like, shibby, 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 shibby. And everybody's like, what? You turn on the subtitles and it just says, nah, dog. I got nothing. It's I don't know if you've seen any of his straight to video movies, but it's absolutely terrible.
Can we work on our Steven Seagal impressions for the next episode? Like the jut out, the eye squinted.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we need to save the whales.
You gotta, what you don't understand is when you're in my presence, you're already dead.
Because I'm the biggest seaman out there.
The biggest seaman on the boat. Oh no. Okay. All right. Yeah. So then after like I said, now he's into just doing nothing but just straight to video, straight to video, straight to video. It's all bad. Now, if you get
he's making money.
He is making money.
I mean, straight to video is still making money, right?
He is making money. But I feel like at this point it's for all the wrong reasons. People just watch it now just to make fun of it. But I think he spends most of his time now doing them more overseas than expecting them to do well here. Like, I think he spends a lot of time trying to release his movies more to the Asian crowd, more so like that your India, your Middle East, stuff like that, more so than getting into the U.S. market. Um,
Interesting market style.
yeah. Well, India has their own version of Hollywood, right? They call it
Oh yeah,
Bollywood, right?
Bollywood.
So,
Yeah.
the movies you see over there are a little more, think like Fast and Furious 10 times like 5 on the wild like CGI scale and premise, right? So his stuff perfect for that, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Uh, Now let's jump out of his acting. Let's talk about his other ventures. He also
He
did.
sang. He was an artist, right?
Yes,
Musical
I was
artist.
getting ready to say he does music,
Yeah.
plays guitar. He actually owns guitars that were allegedly owned by BB King.
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got to take it all. He also says he's got a guitar from Stevie Ray Vaughan, Muddy Waters, Jimi Hendrix. In 2004, he released his first album, Songs from the
Songs from the
Crystal
what?
Cave. Oh, that's the most Seagal
Okay.
title, which has a mix of pop, world, country, and blues music.
So he's multifaceted.
What is world music as a category? What does that mean?
Probably Save the Whales. I'm the biggest seaman out
It's
there
just
on the boat.
whale sounds. The whole thing is just whale sounds. Oh my gosh. He's done duets with Tony Rebel, Lady Saw, and Stevie Wonder.
Of all those names, Stevie Wonder is what strikes me as odd because I don't know the first two.
Yeah, I don't either. Wow, fascinating.
Stevie Wonder couldn't see him, so it didn't matter. Stevie Wonder wasn't sure who he was.
They just told him it was somebody else so that he would do it. Based on Seagal's history, that's a possibility. The soundtrack to Seagal's 2005 film Into the Sun features several songs from the album. Of course, he put his own album in his own movie, which I mean, I would do the same thing. If I was a musician and making movies, I would totally put my own music in there, 100%.
It's marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know who else did that? David Hasselhoff, the Hoff, big in Germany.
Yes, he also did music.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
So there's a world out there. So he's not the only one.
That could be another rabbit hole in itself as well. The rise and fall of the Hoff.
The fall. He never fell. He's
He
still up there. What are you talking about?
he fell. You don't remember the video leaked of him eating a sandwich on this floor? Yeah.
He apologized. It was fine.
Sorry, I got drunk and ate off the floor. Oh God. He also did a cameo in Dodgeball. Seagal, or not Seagal, sorry, Hasselhoff. He did a cameo in Dodgeball.
Yes, he did.
Which is pretty funny. All right, where are we at? One of the album's tracks, Girl, It's Alright, was also released as a single in several countries.
Girl, It's Alright?
Girl, It's Alright was the song, yeah.
Girl, It's Alright.
Seagal's
the biggest seaman on the ship.
Seagal's second album, titled Mojo Priest, was released in April of 2006.
Getting a little soul and a little deep soul in that, huh?
Jesus. Seagal used this material to embark on a concert tour. Where?
Japan.
Tom Jurek of AllMusic panned the album, rating it a 1.5 stars out of 5.
Oh, okay.
And,
he rated it at least.
Stating that Seagal's guitar playing rarely rises above bar band pedigree, and that all of the music takes itself so seriously that it borders on delusional excess. That could be the best way to sum up Seagal's entire life. Delusional excess.
Yeah, no, that's the grandiose thought process. Yeah, sure.
And we can't forget that he was also a police officer. Let's talk about
Wait, what?
Seagal.
I didn't know that.
Seagal has been a reserve deputy chief in the Jefferson Parish of Louisiana Sheriff's Office in the late 1980s. After teaching the deputies martial arts, unarmed combat, and marksmanship, then Sheriff Harry Lee asked Seagal to join the force. Seagal's rank in Louisiana was ceremonial. Steven Seagal's Lawman, a series which followed his work in the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, premiered on A&E on December 2nd of 2009.
I'm just saying
Seagal.
I'm gonna binge that next
Oh,
weekend.
you absolutely
July
need
4th,
to.
Lawman. I'm binging it.
Yes, Steven Seagal related that I've decided to work with A&E on this series now because I believe it's important to show the nation all the positive work being accomplished here in Louisiana. To see, he doesn't even live there. Just to see the passion and commitment that comes from the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office in the post-Katrina environment. I was getting ready to say he did this after Katrina because everybody was focused on Louisiana.
Fascinating.
This guy
You know
is
where
he's
A&E needs to pick up a show?
the ultimate
Shaq.
opportunist.
Shaq is also a deputy somewhere. A&E needs
Yes.
to pick up that show.
Yes. But Shaq actually does positive for the world and doesn't try to always just inflate his own ego.
Fair. His foot's bigger than my wiener.
I
I'm
knew
just saying. It's massive.
he does have like a size, what, like 18, 20, something like that shoe. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
I knew that the only reason he did that was because of the post Katrina. All right. The series premiere drew 3.6 million viewers, ranking as the best season opener for any original A&E series ever.
What? Did he write that description himself?
Nope. That is from the from the facts. The most watched premiere of A&E of an A&E original, which A&E is kind of whatever. They don't do a whole lot of great shows anyway, but for Steven Seagal Lawman to be the highest watched show, that's up there. That's something.
I mean, over Billy the Exterminator? That dude's also up there?
The Exterminator, that was A&E. I have a hard time
Yeah.
remembering A&E versus history. Like I wanted to say Storage Wars was A&E, but wasn't it history?
No, Storage Wars was A&E.
It was A&E. Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
but I don't know if the Storage Wars was even out at this point in 2009.
Rabbits, I need you to comment the best A&E shows that are out there, and are they better than Lawman, and why?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going Billy the Exterminator.
Billy the Exterminator. I'm gonna say Storage Wars for sure. That was a big one for me.
R.I.P. Daryl.
R.I.P.
What else you got on Seagal here, bud?
Yeah, I was scrolling through his law enforcement work. Isn't really much worth talking about at that point. Business ventures in '97. Seagal was to be featured in an action video game for the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation called Deadly Honor, but it was canceled for undisclosed reasons in its beta phase of development. 2005, Seagal Enterprises began to market an energy drink known as Steven Seagal's Lightning Bolt, but it has since been discontinued. I would love to find a can of it somewhere just to put on the shelf.
It's probably too salty.
It's probably outrageously expensive right now. Steven Seagal also marketed an aftershave called Scent of Action, because of course it is. Because of course that's what he decided to call it, Scent of Action.
An aftershave.
And a range of knives and weapons. In 2013, Seagal joined newly formed Russian firearms manufacturing, or ORSIS, representing the company in both a promotional capacity as well as lobbying for the easement of U.S. import restrictions on Russian supporting firearms. So this is where he got into Russia, because Seagal and Putin are kind of buddies, right? If I'm not mistaken,
I believe.
I believe they have had dinner together on multiple occasions. So this is where
I'm just saying,
it
Mr.
gets
Putin, come on over to the show, buddy. Let's talk about this.
I think we'd have to get Seagal first before we could get Putin. I think we would have to play that long game.
Seagal is too big of a figure to get him first. He's the last. He's the big fish. All these other guys, according to him, not as big.
Jesus. Seagal has an extensive sword collection because, of course, he does. And at one time had a custom gun made for him once a month. Wow. Just 12 new guns a year.
So this guy's got 23 guns. Like he went 23 months with a brand new gun.
So some guys join like a cheese of the month club or a mailbox meat club, and Seagal's just getting
mailbox meat,
just getting weapons every month, just showing up in the mail. Oh, 45.
Did you just Kurt Cobain it?
Oh, that's another rabbit hole.
Too soon.
All right, Seagal is a Buddhist, and in
I knew
February of
that.
'97, Lama Penor Rinpoche from Aliul Monastery announced that Seagal was a Hoku, and specifically the reincarnation of Chung Drag Dorji, a 17th century Curtin treasure revealer of the Nyingma, the oldest sect of the Tibetan Buddhism. So now has he paid off monks to claim he is a reincarnation? Is that what I'm
Let me
reading
let
right
me
now?
just let me just ask you this, okay? So you're very realistic. What if that monk is correct? And Seagal is so grandiose because that is correct. He is this 17th century reincarnation of somebody truly great and powerful. And he wants to, green peace and save the world, right? Maybe. I'm just saying. Oh, come on. Don't do that. We're gonna get censored our first episode. Stop it.
that's
I'm just saying. Maybe there's
that's
truth to it.
that's how I feel about what you just said.
Maybe there's truth
That's
to
what
it,
I
man. Maybe
thought.
there's truth to it.
There is no truth to this. There is no truth to
I don't
this.
know that.
Seagal is paying off monks to claim that he is something he is not. Just like
He
he
had to
has
sell toilet paper to
wiggled
get
his
back
way
to
through
Japan.
life by paying people off and acting like a psychopath and getting weak-minded people to believe it. That's what
You
it
don't pay
is.
people off to go meet Kim Jong Un or Putin or
He-
whoever. You can't. Kelly LeBrock. You don't pay people off.
yeah, but
You
you
got to
don't.
have something other than a
There are no
personality. He don't even have
celebrities
that.
out there trying to chase down Vladimir Putin to be a
I'm
Russian czar. I mean, it's not happening. A Russian ambassador.
just
Because
saying.
that is career suicide in the United States where they make all their money. Seagal doesn't make
He went
money
to
in the United
Japan,
States.
brother. He went to Russia. It's not about U.S. He's on the U.S. to make movies. Fair at best movies, but okay, not even fair, but they're there.
There's some good
I'm just saying,
Tubi originals in there that he's been a part of, I'm sure.
this is not American people saying that he's the reincarnation of some Buddhist monk from the centuries ago, right? This is some true monk, some validated personality in this religious sect, right? That says, hey, Matty P, I believe you to be whatever Wong Dong Baby Dong, and all of a sudden there you are. Who knows? Well, that's a 10th century
But
Dan or something, right?
if I was a Buddhist monk, that would 100% be my name. 100% that would be my name. Wong Dong Baby Dong. That's I want that as a tattoo.
I want that shirt.
Like I
that
want it
merch.
right here so that it's hidden by my second chin until I lift my head up. And just Wong Dong Baby Dong right there across the neck.
I think you have it in two layers. You have Wong Dong below your chin,
Uh-huh.
and when your chin's down, you don't see it. All you see though is Baby Dong.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm just saying that's how you play that.
And then
All right, we're rabbit holing away here. We're spinning away.
Seagal was then where am I at? Seagal was granted Russian citizenship November 3rd, 2016. According to government spokesman, he was asking quite insistently and over a lengthy period to be granted citizenship.
He just asked.
Yeah.
Mr. Putin.
Oh my God.
Please grant us citizenship.
Hold on. Various media outlets have cited Seagal and President Vladimir Putin as friends, and Seagal stated that he would like to consider Putin as a brother. Putin then bestowed the Russian award of Order of Friendship medal upon Seagal in 2023.
Do you stand by he's paying off these people now? You think it's going to pay off the Russian government, Mr. Putin himself, to get that title? I don't think so.
Yes.
Wong Dong Baby Dong. 10th century czar or whatever.
I am standing by it.
That's Seagal.
And then Putin has said that he has definitely seen some of his movies, probably not many.
Well, there are only a couple of them over there he will allow, right? He's fighting the Russians all through the 80s.
Wait, Seagal has how many kids?
Up in the teens, correct?
7.
Oh,
Seagal
okay,
has
less than I
7
thought.
kids. He's
thought it was
been
in the
married
teens.
1, 2, 3, 4 times, including to that Kelly LeBrock you were talking about.
Where is she at? Where is she at in the four? In the four?
She was the third.
Yeah.
She was from 87 to 96. They were together for 9 years. And now his current wife, who I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, her name was 2009 to present.
He went back to Japan for this young lady.
Erdin Itua Batsuk. So I'm guessing. He
That's a
has
good guess.
7 children, including Ayako, who has herself become a Japanese actress and writer, and she acts and writes in both Japanese and English. Ayako Fujitani is her name. So she has grown into some fame herself. 7 children. Wild.
I've got a couple. I get it.
Yeah.
A couple that I know of. These are 7 that he knows of.
Uh-oh. Allegations and lawsuits. Seagal was in some legal trouble. He was charged with employment discrimination, sexual harassment, and breach of contract. Cheryl Schumann filed a case against Seagal. This was in 95, accusing him of threatening and beating her during the filming of On Deadly Ground. In August 95, Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Hiroshi Fujisaki dismissed the case, calling the claims repetitive and unintelligible. What does that mean?
So Seagal wrote that. Unintelligible. This claim is
But they
not
ruled in
founded.
Seagal's favor. They claimed that she was making it up.
The claim is unfounded.
Claim is unfounded. You don't understand the methodology of my method. Wow. Allegedly, he was a victim of attempted extortion. He's had conflicts with stuntmen, plural.
Because they're not as good.
Well, yeah, they're the problem. They are always the problem, right? He's been getting into politics, obviously hanging out in Russia.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
His views on Ukraine and his Russian citizenship caused Ukraine to ban him from entering the country because he committed socially dangerous actions. So he can't even go to Ukraine now because of his.
Well, yeah, the friend of my enemy is my enemy.
Yeah, 100%.
Or whatever that saying
makes
is.
sense. Wow. He's also hung out with the Philippine president, Rodrigo Duterte. Back in 2017, they hung out together, took some photos. Wow. This guy, I mean, there's just layers. All kinds of films,
you know
TV
who hasn't hung out
series.
with this guy? You or I.
That needs to happen. That needs to happen.
I'm just
I
Mr.
want to
Seagal,
hear it
I'm just saying.
directly from the Gimp horse's mouth. What he has actually done and not done in his life that all this is real.
We probably will need a translator, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, he was nominated for a bunch of those Razzie Awards for the worst picture. You know,
subjective.
He got for On Deadly Ground. He was nominated for Worst Actor, Worst Picture, and Worst Director. He won for Worst Director. For Executive Decision in '97, he was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor. Fire Down Below was Worst Actor, Worst Picture, Worst Screen Couple.
Oh God, I love that movie. There's no way.
Worst Screen Couple was him and his guitar. It wasn't the actress in the movie. It was his guitar.
He played his guitar in that movie. That's correct.
Worst Original Song for the song Fire Down Below. And then Half Past Dead, he was nominated for Worst Actor. But he only won the one for Worst Director of On Deadly Ground. 2 albums. I couldn't even begin to count how many films and TV shows now at this point that he's done. Meeting with Vladimir Putin, becoming a brother to Vladimir Putin, right? I mean, this guy, a hell of a life. Meeting with other presidents of other leaders, 7 children, 4 wives, 5 wives, 1, 2, 3, 4 wives.
Yep.
Draft dodging, making music. I mean,
did he really dodge the draft though? He went over for True Love. I'm just saying. I stand on that ground.
He was originally born in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
In '52.
That explains a lot.
Jeez. I mean, that's wild to me. Now I'm going to claim draft dodging because he also then turned around and scammed that same woman out of all her money to be able to get back to the States.
He just really wanted to come back to be an Aikido Dan.
Yeah. All right. I think that's the end of the rabbit hole on Seagal. You want to wrap this one up? Give us our hit the outro, and then we will start looking into next week's topics.
Yeah, so for me, I guess looking at the my thoughts on this episode and Seagal is this guy had a fascinating life. Maybe too wild to be true. Who knows? I think we're going to have different opinions on that. But as you said, that rabbit hole goes a long way. There's a lot of things that were there, a lot of experiences, a lot of people that can vouch. To include a monk that said this dude's the reincarnation of Baby Dong Wong from the 17th century, which is pretty cool. But I'm not going to judge that, right? So this is what it is, and this is it's a very interesting topic. He's a very I can see why he is an interesting man.
Yeah, he is definitely an interesting man for sure. To sum it up, and this is why I wanted to put him in as a category because I knew some of this from, or a lot of this from what I've seen, covered about him, but some of this I did not know. Like I didn't realize that he actually did a couple albums, and I didn't know about all the lawsuits. I'd heard of a couple, uh, but yeah, just the crazy life that this guy's lived. You can make fun of him all you want, but the fact that he has traveled the world, made all kinds of movies, made albums, made whether they're good or not, it's kind of subjective, right? Because it is art, right? Which is always subjective. But I mean, he's mingled with world leaders and he got money. You're doing well. New
I'm
gun a
here
month.
for it. That's all I'm saying.
Good for him. There's definitely stuff you can
Rabbits
make fun,
again.
but good for him.
Rabbits, comment away. See, tell us what you think. To give us some feedbacks on again A&E shows, best worst Seagal movie.
Yes.
Again, is he truly legit? Is he full of crap? Who knows, right? Let us know what you think on this. That's my piece, Matty P.
That sums it up for me. All right, so that's going to do it for today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, be sure to hit the like, the subscribe, ring the bell at the bottom so you get the updates when we drop the next episode. And I hope you enjoyed the trip down this rabbit hole. And we'll see you guys in the next one.